Hello, welcome to the third lecture of chapter 2 of ML, DS and AI course. Now here we want to talk about this topic, applications of Python. Before I discuss all this, just this one diagram is enough to understand that Python is used in healthcare, networking, game development, desktop GUI development, web development, data science and analytics, which our focus here is to use Python for data science and analytics, scientific computing, and automation and scripting. Okay, so these are some applications. You can see that that means once a person learns Python and puts some efforts, then that effort will never be wasted. Even if he is not interested in data science and analytics, he may become a good web developer, or he may become a good game developer, or he may become an expert in automation. Okay, so this is one important advantage with Python. Web development, Python offers frameworks such as Django and Flask. Now here, Flask is relatively slightly simple. So if you want to make a simple web app, then we use tools like Streamlit or Flask, etc. There are many other frameworks also. But if you want a very complex multi-page Python web app, and you want to provide authentication and multiple form handling and so many different things, then you will use Django, because Django has this philosophy, batteries included philosophy. So that means that most of the features which a web developer would need are coming with Django built in. I just give examples of three main widely used huge platforms which are built entirely with Django. One is Instagram, crores or rather billions of subscribers. Then second is Dropbox, and third is I forgot the name of a third very popular application. But in short, each of these platforms handle billions of simultaneous requests, and they are developed using Django. Okay. In data science and machine learning, Python is the go-to language at present, particularly with development of deep learning and artificial intelligence. Python has overtaken the domination of R. Otherwise, just maybe 5 to 8 years back, R was the most widely used, followed by Python. But now it is reverse. Python is the most widely used, followed by R. Okay. So this is one important automation. This is a very great strength of Python. You can automate your everyday tasks so easily with Python that your productivity will increase many folds, and your efforts, if you are an entrepreneur, then your staff requirement will also go down as more and more things can be automated. There is a famous book, Automate the Boring Stuff with Python, and I strongly advise to read that book and actually use its script in your daily life. Okay, scientific and numeric computing. Python is heavily used for scientific computing. Even space research organizations like NASA, they use Python for many of its applications. It is used in physics, it is used in engineering because of such libraries. SciPy and Matplotlib. SciPy is the library which facilitates complex scientific calculation, and Matplotlib is the library which allows creation of very complex plots, graphs, colored charts based on the code. And in science, both of these things are very handy. Education. Python is perhaps the most favorite language to choose to introduce coding to kids. So it is said that for someone who does not know coding and wants to just begin, then Python is the most user-friendly language. Then for engineering students also, after third semester and beyond, Python can be very beneficial, okay, for making their projects. And this is not just limited to computer or electronics engineers, but even engineers of other branches, they can also greatly benefit. Now this thing, Zen of Python, is something which is the basic philosophy of Python, and it is worth going through once. Okay, it can be accessed within the Python interpreter itself by typing import this. So if we can even try it. Sorry. Yeah, what has happened to the caps lock is locked? Why? Can't understand. Okay, let me run it. Yes, this is how the Zen of Python you can print in any of your Jupyter notebook. Okay, what it says, beautiful is better than ugly. So a good looking code, well formatted code, or more readable code is always better. Explicit is better than implicit. So whenever possible, Python believes in explicitly specifying things and do not leave anything to the anything to the judgment of reader. Complex is better than complicated, but before that, simple is better than complex. So this is the philosophy of Python, that a simple code is always better. Flat is better than nested. So Python does not like a lot of nested loops, one inside, then another curly brace or maybe round brace, then inside with another round brace, then inside with another round brace, and so on. So that type of code is not required in Python. Then sparse is better than dense. Two closely packed symbols, say four opening parentheses together and then four closing parentheses together, everything. That is usually it will not be seen in Python code. Then readability counts. In fact, Python puts a lot of emphasis on readability. Special cases aren't special enough to break the rules. So that is also one important thing. Although practicality beats purity, errors should never pass silently. Okay? Then this means wherever possible, we should provide some mechanism which catches all the errors which occur during the execution of your code, and it should display the message, warning or error message, to the end user or to the developer also. For that, in Python, there is a mechanism called try, catch, accept, block. Okay, so we will see it unless explicitly silent. However, sometimes due to lower version or version mismatch, some warnings are seen. A warning means they are as such innocent and they will not hamper the execution of your code. So if you want to silence those warnings, then you can do that by importing import warnings library and then using certain code that will not display all the warnings, and your user interface will look clean, or your console or in Jupyter Notebook your shell will look clean. Then there should be one obvious way to do it, and if possible there should be only one way of doing it. So Python does not believe in allowing so many different ways to achieve one task. It says that one task should be achievable by maybe one or two different ways, and in them ideally there should be only one way, or if there are say two three different ways, then also the most ideal should be obvious. Then now is better than never, although never is often better than right now. Okay, so that means what? That we'll have to see while we learn the Python. If implementation is hard to explain, then it is a bad idea. So this is also again for emphasis on simplicity, that you should be able to explain what the code is doing to even laymen. Now this is very important from business perspective, because most of the time the people who decide whether you will get the contract or not, that is the people who control the fact purses, they are not tech savvy always. So they want explanation in simple language what you are doing with your app or code. So at that time, you will not find any language which is better than Python to explain your business stakeholders. Then if implementation is easy, then it perhaps is also a good implementation and good idea. Namespaces. Now this I will have to explain while we do. Okay. And the last one also we will see when. But this shows the philosophy, and the philosophy should assure new learners that okay, the whole programming language is designed with simplicity in mind. Complexity should be avoided at present as much as present. Ambiguity should be avoided. There should be preferably only one way of doing it. Don't allow maybe 10 different ways of doing the same thing. Otherwise, it is always a problem while writing, while choosing which way, which method to implement you for achieving the particular task. Then it is easy to explain, and all these things means that a new learner of Python will not find any programming language which is perhaps more friendly than Python. Okay. Now from here, our discussion about actual Python syntax and everything will start, but that will be in the next lecture. Thank you.